Well, hi again, folks. Welcome into Health Talk Mississippi. It's a new podcast that we have for you, brought to you by the Mississippi State Department of Health, and I am your humble host, Greg Flynn. Our episodes here are meant to educate, inform, and entertain you a little bit about the services provided by the Mississippi State Department of Health and other organizations to empower you and keep you healthy. Today, we're going to talk about the Office of Vital Records and Statistics and, well, what that means to you, because I'd like to know, because I don't know exactly all the things that go on there. We are honored to have Judy Moulder with us. She is the longtime director of the office who, well, she recently retired and, well, she handed the reins over to Miss Pat Oluade over here. Welcome, ladies.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm super excited about this because you guys have been doing this for a long, long time. And the things that I've learned about vital records is amazing. So I know, Judy, how long were you officially over there?
I was appointed state registrar in 2001, so I served in that role for 24 years before my retirement in June of 25.
And you just felt like it was time? You've seen enough records over that time?
It was time.
Yeah. And you've handed the reins over to Patricia here, who is more than capable, I'm sure, right?
That's right. She was deputy state registrar, and she comes with a lot of good experience. So handing the reins over to her was very easy to know that she was going to do a great job.
Pat, you feel any pressure now?
Oh, I do somewhat, but I'm going to do my best to serve the people of Mississippi.
Well, you had somebody really, really good to learn from,
I
right?
did. Judy is a great mentor. I hope she keeps her phone on.
Don't change your phone number, Judy, for sure. Well, let's start off really easy because a lot of people may not know. What are vital records that you all keep?
Okay. So vital records, a law was passed in that the state of Mississippi should keep vital records for every vital event, birth, death, marriage, divorce, fetal death, and induced terminations. So all of that information is collected by the Office of Vital Records, and we're responsible for collecting the statistics from those records.
So anything that, you guys compile, what the cause of death was when on a death certificate, and you guys keep that?
Yes, we do. That information is reviewed by our staff when it comes in from our stakeholders, which can be the funeral home, coroners, and just an individual that's associated with our system.
Now, before we get going, we want people to know that you guys really do know what you're talking about because you were recently nationally accredited for the first time, and it's one of very few in the country offices of vital records that have been accredited. Judy, why don't you talk a little about that because that was a big part of your...
That's right. That's correct. In May of 25, we received our accreditation from the Public Health Accreditation Board, and we were just one of the first few states in the nation to receive that accreditation. So a little bit about the accreditation. It allowed us to really show that we follow national standards, and it also gave us a lot of credibility with our stakeholders. We work closely with federal and state government agencies, and also with our many stakeholders. As Pat said, it's coroners, physicians, funeral homes, and hospitals around the state.
So now when we talk about the Office of Vital Records, you guys are located up in Ridgeland.
Yes.
And where people can come by. And it's, you mentioned before, so if the public needs a reproduction or a copy of the birth certificate, death certificate, marriage license, divorce papers, I think you also mentioned there, is that correct?
Yes, we do not issue divorce papers, but we can help them locate the county of where their divorce papers are filed.
Okay. That seems like a wild web of things you guys have to keep control of over there.
Right.
Little daunting task, can it be?
It can be, depending on what time of year.
That's right. And of course, that time of the year, which means it can be vacation, and it can be as well as Christmas holidays when people come back to Mississippi, they pick up those records.
So when they come in, is it best to come straight to the office? Is there a way for you to do this online?
Yes, our online processes can be on the phone or through our website where they actually they can download an application and submit it by mail.
Okay, and then they would come, but they would physically have to come to the office there in Ridgeland to pick it up.
Yes, that's correct. They come to 222 Market Ridge Drive to pick up those records.
Okay, well, before we leave out of here today, we'll make sure people have all the contact information and how to reach you guys. You're coming off of one of your biggest events of the year. It's the annual Back to School. And tell the folks a little bit about what went into the Back to School.
Well, each year we do the Back to School campaign, which is in collaboration with our immunization office. And with the Back to School campaign, parents can come in and pick up their records within 5 to 10 minutes. Also, they can get a copy of their shot records or immunization records on site. This year, we did something special. We also offered them the opportunity to schedule for their back to school, their immunization records, if they did not have them.
Well, and because it's so critical now, it can be a confusing time for parents as they're trying to get their kids ready for school. A lot of them for the first time, sending them off to kindergarten. You guys try and make it as easy as possible for them?
We do. When they come on site, all of our immunization staff is there, as well as the scheduler and our vital records staff who provide them with the birth certificate on site.
Well, and I know that was a big planning thing. Judy, you've done that for years now, and it's just it's a heavy lift when you get trying to get it. It sounds easy, but it's really not, is it?
It grows every year, and we have more and more parents take advantage of it. And we usually, start our planning early, months in advance, to make sure we have everything in place so that we can handle the volume of people that come to the office.
So what is a daily day in the life over there at Vital Records look like?
We can have up to 150 walk-in customers during the day. And the walk-in customer service counter, we really try to get people in and out. So Pat mentioned 5 to 10 minutes is the most that you should stay in our office. We also have amendment clerks that are available for individuals to talk to if they have an amendment that they need made to their record.
Okay, so when you say an amendment, what do you guys mean by an amendment that they're seeking?
With an amendment, you are asking for changes or corrections mainly to be done on the birth certificate or death certificate. And this is done either through an affidavit or a court order. And we would allow the parent or whomever or the person themselves to come in either with the affidavit or a court order to request a change on their birth certificate or death certificate.
Well, just for my knowledge, why would somebody need to make a change to their birth certificate?
Well, if you were born in the 1960s, sometimes the parents didn't know exactly how to spell the name. So they spelled it the way they did then, but now I am 60 and I'm trying to obtain my benefits. It's not the way that I want it spelled, or it's not the way it should be spelled.
Judy, that's I know Pat just mentioned it when she mentioned the 60s, but your records go back way before that, right?
November 11th, 1912. So we have vital records back that far.
1912.
1912.
You still have the originals from 1912?
We do.
Yes.
How in the world do you modernize, in the day and age that we live now, where everything's on a computer, and it's just got to be fascinating when you go back and look at those old records from you say the teens, but it's the early teens, not the 20 teens that you're going through now.
Well, when I first came to Vital Records, everything was paper-based. So all of our processes were manual, and they were batched and processed as by county and numbered and that sort of thing. So over the years, they were put on microfilm, they were put on a roll, and then they were switched to microfilm, which had images on it, and now they are imaged and on the computer. Part of the data modernization process is now they come in electronic, so we don't have to image them at this point. So over time, as technology has progressed, our record keeping has progressed.
Well, that's just got to be, it's just fascinating to me that it goes back that far and that you can retrace pretty much every Mississippian ever born here, at least since 1912.
That's correct.
That's correct.
That's crazy. So if you wanted to go back and look, like who's eligible, I know a lot of times we talked a little bit before, who's eligible to come get a copy of a birth certificate?
The person themselves, an immediate family member, which could be mother, father, sister, brother, your legal guardian, but all that has to be proved with your ID, right, which would be your driver's license or your state ID.
So Mississippi is not a open record state. So records that are at the Office of Vital Records are closed to the public. So you cannot just go in and go through the files and look. So you have to have an application, and you have to prove, you have to show a state-issued ID and prove that you have a right to see that record or to obtain a certified copy of it.
So what are some of the you say we're not open, which is good because identity theft is rampant out there, right?
That's correct.
I can't imagine what states would just give that out to some people, but they do?
They do.
They do.
There are some states that are open to the public, and you can go in and receive anybody's paperwork that you want.
That just is nutty. It's not. See, another great reason to be living in the state of Mississippi. We're there to protect your personal information.
That's right.
I'm a little perplexed, though, too. I would think that if you're going to go get a birth certificate, you're a parent and you need it for your child or even for yourself. What would be the reason you've heard in the past why siblings would come to get a copy of a birth certificate for their brother, their sister?
Well, the other sibling might be sick, or they may need to clear land, or also they may have to just handle family business. And some people are doing family trees. So to have those records at hand makes it easier for them to handle their business, whatever type it may be.
I think that's another great point. I mean, people are all about their genealogy and their history now, so I bet that does play a big role. Do you see a lot of those come in?
Yes, we do.
We do.
And because it provides the official documentation as they're making their family book potentially?
A lot of times, even though they can create their genealogical tree, they want the paper documents to have on file as well.
Yeah, almost like a scrapbook. I mean, if you're putting together a family scrapbook, it's kind of cool. I mean, I would love to see, my ancestors from 1912 in the book. That would be pretty darn neat.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys also do the death certificates.
Right.
What's a reason, again, out there that somebody would need a copy of a death certificate?
Social Security benefits, the pension of their late spouse or those type of things. And, again, to clear land, to make sure that they're aware of who this person was, especially husbands and wives. That's very important.
Right. To handle their estate, sell joint ownership of an automobile, close a bank account. There's numerous reasons that you would need to have a copy of the death certificate.
To prove that this is why we have to be doing all this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you make it easy for people to do the one-stop shopping.
That's
You ever had somebody come in, let's say, for the birth certificates that, okay, they're probably, I don't know, 30, 40 years old now, and they can't believe the way mom put their name on the birth certificate, and they're like, what's the process that they do to go change that? If you don't like it, like if you're sitting here right now and they're listening to us and like, I don't like the name that they gave me on my birth certificate, and it like Pat, you said, it's spelled, just completely whack, and I want to get that changed to something more common. What's the process that you've seen over the years?
You can usually use the affidavit if it's just the first name. But when it comes to surnames, whatever, you have to use a court order. So they just bring in evidence that they've been using that name and provide that to our amendment clerks, and they will go through the paperwork and work with them on that.
Judy, you ever had anybody come in with these crazy names that they want to fix?
Yes, or not really fix, but what they want to change their name to. So that we see that a lot, and it kind of follows. Over the years, things change. What's the hot name for the moment, and they want to change their name to that. So, but we do have on our website, we do have frequently asked questions, which kind of will guide them through the process of what they need and to change or amend a name on their certificate.
What are some of those the FAQs, the frequently asked questions that you'll put up there? What are the most of the questions you guys get?
Number one is most parents want to know how can they add the biological parent, and you have the affidavit that can do that. And then we also have how I can correct my name, and that information is on there.
Judy, what are some of those other ones you run across a lot?
They want to know where we're located. They want to know how much it costs to purchase a birth or death certificate. They are interested in the forms of payment that we accept. And then they also want to know, like, can they order it over the telephone using a credit card or online?
What is the cost if somebody comes in? The various different costs that you guys have for different things.
$17 for the initial certificate and $6 for any additional, and that's with all of the products.
That's ordered at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bargain. You can get and they're certified copies. They're official,
certified copies.
Official everything else, and for $17. We keep it really affordable for people.
That's right. We do. We try. The other thing that we get asked a lot is, do we issue a long form or a short form? So a short form is something that they used to issue a long time ago, and it was just like an abbreviated copy. But since 9/11, we only issue long forms, and it is the complete record. It's everything. It shows the parents' names and their signature on the form. And that is required for school registration and for passport.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but passports are very important these days.
They are.
And especially the whole real ID thing that's
right.
Correct.
We were really busy when Real ID, when it was announced that they were going to start really enforcing Real ID, the office was hopping.
And why so? Why do you say that it was really, really busy when Real ID came out?
Well, because we were influxed with web orders, as well as people coming to the front counter to obtain their birth certificates right away. Since May 7th was the drop dead date, our staff had to be on task for making sure we got those records out in time. Our calls increased at that time, as well as the mail.
One of the things I think about when you say that people need to go get their records, I think one of the most challenging times, if I recall, was after Hurricane Katrina.
Yes.
What did you have to experience during Hurricane Katrina when so many people lost so many documents in their homes? What was that like, Judy?
Hurricane Katrina was it was a time of uncertainty for sure for everyone that was had lost records, or those of us that were working during Katrina, after Katrina. But we did reissue a lot of records after that. And to help the state of Louisiana, Mississippi also took orders for the state of Louisiana. And so there were so many individuals here that were staying here after Katrina that we took the orders, and then we would send those orders to them. They would complete the orders and mail them back to us, and we would issue them to their residents.
Yeah, we had so many people that wound up relocating here.
That's right.
That left with nothing but the clothes on their back. Mm-hmm. Was that kind of satisfying walking through that to help people?
Oh, yes. They were very grateful for all the help. And it was really, Louisiana Vital Records really appreciated us helping, because their records were kept downtown and it was flooded. And they had to actually move their records to Baton Rouge. And then they had to... So they were really in a bad situation, because they were not in their office, and then their records had to be sent off to be preserved because they all got wet.
Well, the fact that we could even help out when we were still having to work so hard with the lower 6 counties, especially that had their homes just gone, right?
And we participated in the recent tornadoes, Rolling Fork, as well as Tylertown. We went on site to assist there as well.
Yeah, that was a very good thing, too. To talk about that a little bit more, because I know that when we just had those come through the Pine Belt, it was those tornadoes, again, just like a hurricane. We're disaster central here.
That's right.
And those tornadoes just take a house and spin it around, and your birth certificate might wind up 6 counties away.
Well, what we did was we went on site with our MSDH unit, and we provided the birth certificate applications. We helped the customers completed those, as well as making sure we communicated with our office to pick them up and bring them back to the site the next day.
That's one of those things that people don't realize, and part of the recovery process is that while you are supposed to keep records in a very safe place and even scan them and keep them on a thumb drive, things like that, you guys are a great fail-safe for that. You're the fallback to really help people put their lives back together, right?
Right. It was important to many of the people who came to the site to say, we're going to get them the next day, because they had to go to Social Security, and they also had to make sure they had them to obtain shelter.
It's fascinating, Judy, because you don't really realize sometimes until it happens what you need your birth certificate for, right?
Yes. Yes, you need your birth certificate, like for school registration. That most people think about that. If you're going on a cruise, they want to see a copy of your birth certificate. To renew your driver's license, they may require that, and it's always good to have a certified copy of your birth certificate. Another use of birth certificates is for sports, for Little League and things like that, to prove age. And so that's what we're here for. We're here to help the public.
Yes, just let it be known out there, when you get your birth certificate, you want a copy of it over at Vital Records. We're not going to change the birth date to make sure that the kid can get where in a certain age, right?
That's right. Correct. That's right.
It's sad, but people actually do try to do that kind of stuff.
They do.
It's very sad. The ladies, it's more than just you guys. I mean, it takes a full staff. How big is the staff out there at Vital Records?
We have at least 65 staff members on site, with a full house, and we have them. Our staff is spread across in every unit. We have birth, death, marriage, mail entry area. We have to make sure when the mail comes in, it's checked. All the records when they come in, electronic or by mail, that they're checked properly by the staff before we can actually issue records.
Judy, do you remember how many you had when you first started out over there?
How many staff?
Yeah.
We probably, it was probably, it was probably about 60, 70 staff when I first started.
Just like everything else, we were talking about the early days of it, and you
Right.
talked about the group of ladies, like it was almost like secretaries, right?
Right. Back in the 1950s, there was it's a group of ladies, and they were dressed in their Sunday best for their photo, and it was like 25 of them. And they were doing everything by hand. As someone would come in to order a record, they were hand typing them.
Oh, the old typewriter days, right?
The typewriter days, yes.
Well, we've come a long way because, as you guys talked about, it's been digital modernization, right?
That's
Right.
correct.
Has everything been able to kind of, are we all caught up in that, or is it still an ongoing process?
It's an ongoing process, and you have to keep up and change with the times. And as technology improves, then you want to improve the business process. So before I retired, we worked to modernize the walk-in customer service counter and introduce kiosk to the order process, and also some customer choices as to how they would pick up and order their certificates. So we initiated that process, and I think Pat has continued the modernization of the issuance and registration process since I've retired.
Yeah, what I really, really am excited about, you were explaining to me, Pat, the new kiosk system that you all have planned to be there in Vital Records, that's just going to make it easier for people, right?
It will, because most of our most people these days are very inclined to work better with their telephones, and the kiosk would be a form of that for them, which would make it more common for them to use and just go to our front counter and hand them a ticket and pick up their record for there, because everything would have been paid for through the kiosk.
Hey, you can't beat that. Everybody's using an iPad these days. You're just going to walk in the lobby and use an iPad.
That's it. Yes. But our front counter is still there to assist, to make sure the process go easy for them.
You know, one of the other things that I know you're going to carry on the tradition of that, you know, Judy, you did for a long time is your community outreach. And it was really heartening to see how you guys have stepped out to try and even help the homeless. Can you talk a little bit about that, Judy?
That is very dear to Patricia's heart, so I'll let her talk about that.
Yes. When I came to Vital Records, of course, I moved from child support. My thought was, Vital Records, we just pass out the records at the front counter because they came in just like they should be, and people could just pick them up. But when I learned that so many homeless people needed their records, Judy and I worked together to make sure that we can go into the community and work with the various organizations to actually get them to purchase records for the homeless, and we can be able to collaborate with them through various agreements to make sure that the homeless receive their records in time to get homes, food, and benefits for their children. So we work with Stu Pot and other organizations, and Jackson Housing and Vicksburg, to make sure that the records were provided to the homeless timely.
You know, and as we try and give people a hand up, not a handout, and they need those birth certificates to be able to get a job, you know, and to make sure that they can get their Social Security card. It all really starts there, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. They need their IDs. If they weren't able to drive, definitely you need an ID. And to obtain an ID, you do need your birth certificate. So those things were very important to us. And throughout working with the homeless population, it gives us a sense that we're doing what we need to do to make sure people get what they need.
Yeah, I mean, there for the grace of God, we're all, you know, 2 steps away from being on the street, God forbid. And, it's really touching that you guys take that into account, that they are not forgotten.
That's good.
Nobody is forgotten.
That's correct.
And we want to make sure everybody has the same opportunity, as everybody else. I know you mentioned you guys work with veterans organizations too.
We do. With the veterans, they work with us through the Veterans Affairs Board. So in order to obtain their records, we have a special application for them. And on that application, they can obtain a death or a birth record to handle their business. And we work with the Affairs Board to make sure they're identified as the veteran who should be receiving this record.
Just fascinating. You guys can touch so many people just through the vital records.
Vital records they touch all the vital events of your life.
And I think it's appropriately named Vital.
Vital.
Hey, before I let you ladies go, I know we wanted to touch a little bit upon the statistics you keep there, because not only is it of the records, but you guys keep statistics. And Judy, why don't you go over some of the interesting statistic that you all can keep?
Okay. So in 2024, we had 50,000 orders for birth certificates, and we had 43,500 orders for deaths in a year. The issuance time was 4 days. For a birth was 1 day in 2024.
It's a quick turnaround.
It's a quick turnaround.
Fast service.
That's right. And we're number one in the timeliness for births, in registering births in the country. And we also are very timely compared to some of the other states in the issuance of certifications.
And you guys I know that there's another division, which I wanted talked about in our podcast going forward, of the health statistics that are kept there, the vital statistics. And what are just some of those, a little preview of the stuff that old Sam over there is pulling down?
So our things that Sam helps us with is of course, all of our business processes. We track, keep stats on everything that we do, from the time it enters the office to the time that it goes into the mail. But we also measure our timeliness of the registration of births and deaths. Also, we measure we keep track of the causes of death, baby names, popular baby names.
That's big when it comes out from Mississippi. What are the popular names, right?
That's right. Mm-hmm. So we try to keep track of everything that we think someone would be interested in knowing, and those are on our website as well.
That's a lot of information to keep, and again, I can't wait to have Sam on in the future. But when he can break down the statistics that help for our health report card about how many people died of heart attack or things like that. That's what leads to those big reports that come in, that really set Mississippi up. One of the things last year's report card was kind of a disturbing trend that you all had published for us, is that the number of deaths in the state actually outnumbered the number of births.
That's correct.
That's right.
That's scary.
That's right. Births are trending down in Mississippi and have been for several years.
That just means we're losing population.
That's correct.
That's correct.
That's why we all got to work together to keep people healthy, keep them living longer.
Yes.
And hey, we need families.
We do.
Get out there and make the families. It's very, very important. Most importantly for our folks that are listening, what is the best way? We talked about where the address is out in Ridgeland. Pat, what was that again?
222 Market Ridge Drive, Ridgeland, 39157.
Okay. Phone number that they want to call if they have questions?
Phone number is 601-206-8200.
And our web address, I know they can go to msdh.ms.gov.
That's correct.
And they can go under Vital Records, and everything you guys just talked about is housed right there for them, right?
Right. And the 1-800 number for them to order online is 1-877-295-4229.
One more time with that one.
1-877-295-4229.
Excellent. Of course, that's on our website. as well. Would you recommend people go on ahead of time and print out that application before they want to just show up at the office? Would it expedite things?
I do. It would. They can just walk right to the front counter and hand it to our clerks there, and they'll make sure they get them out for them right then. Won't have to wait on anything or fill out anything. Have all your information with your ID in hand, and you can get it right then.
That's excellent. Great customer service. And speedy, too.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Well, Judy Moulder, we appreciate you and all the years of service that you put in building up the team out there at Vital Records, and we wish you nothing but happiness in your retirement.
Thank you so much.
Well, Pat, we know you're going to have some big shoes to fill.
Oh, yes, sir, but she'll have a phone on.
Judy, you promise you're not going to change your number?
I'm not. I wouldn't do that to her.
Well, Pat, I have nothing but confidence. The people should know that it's a great, great program out there, and something that's so, no pun intended, vital to every Mississippian. Sometimes you're like, no, I'm never going to need that.
Well, we know.
You never know.
Never know, but our health officer, Dr. Edney, is going to make sure he works with us to help us, and we appreciate him and his senior staff for working closely with us, and we mostly appreciate our staff who does a great job in making sure things are done timely.
Fantastic. Ladies, thank you so much for being our guests, our guinea pigs here on the new podcast.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Health Talk Mississippi. We will be back with another edition that I know that you will find fascinating. We hope you enjoyed this one on Vital Records. And until next time, I'm Greg Flynn.